All right, so this is my Blue Jays off-season moves that I would do. I'm gonna try to keep it realistic. I'm not gonna say Bellinger, Otani, and all that stuff. I would love to get Bellinger, but I got another guy in mind that I think the Jays would probably get. Um, yeah, that's all I gotta say. We're moving on, and these are the moves that I think the Jays should do, or the Jays that I think are gonna happen. So that's all I gotta say. Let's move on to the moves. All right, the only trade that I'm gonna be doing because I can't like make up trades off the blue. I don't have the brain to do that, or the capacity, or the I don't know that many prospects around the league. But first one is trading Santiago Espinal to whoever. I don't know who needs a second baseman or a backup second baseman for cash considerations because Santiago Espinal is not worth that much. Yeah, he's a former All Star. That was because of the Jays fans rigging it in 2022. Um, yeah. I think Espinal. He's just a slap hitter. He's not. He's a contact guy. Plays all right defense. A little overrated defensively. Um, I like Davis Schneider better. That this offseason we're getting rid of Whit Merrifield. We already the mutual option decline. You know, we had too many second basemen. We had way too many second basemen, and he needs to go. I think Ernie Clement can play second base as well. He's going to be our backup shortstop. So Ernie Clement's there. And then we got David Schneider, who's going to be starting. And then you got Cam Biggio, who's your lefty. And Espinal just doesn't have a role in this team. I think we just ship him away for cash considerations. I think everyone would agree that Espinal doesn't have a role in this team anymore. He had good moments, you know. Don't get me wrong. The guy a couple years ago raked, you know, hit around 300, but now he just, if you're not hitting singles, doubles all the time, you're nothing. Like, this guy has no power. Defense kind of overrated again, you know, but whoever picks him up, he'll be a solid backup second baseman. It's just he doesn't fit the team anymore, and I think it's time to move on from Espinal. You know, I wish him the best of luck, but I want my cash considerations back. We traded cash considerations. I want them back, man. Yeah, so that's all I gotta say. Move on to the next move. All right, so next guy for left fielder slash DH is Jock Peterson. He's a power hitting lefty. Yes, he had a down year with the Giants. 15 home runs, only batted .235. 51 RBIs. I don't know how many games did he play. I gotta check. He played approximately 121 games. Last year he played 134 games. Was way better. Batted .274. 23 home runs. That's the guy I really want. I want a .274 guy. With Atlanta, he did really good. Chicago did good. You know, he's a power hitting guy. He can get you 20 something home runs. Obviously, his years with the Dodgers are probably past, but I think the Jays should go after him DH wise. I think we have to go after two outfielders. I'll try to look for another one, like more defensive sound. But Jock Pearson would be your DH slash left fielder. You know, I like him. I know he's not the best fielder, but I think he can come like in this park. You know, with the shorter porches now, moved in the fences. I think he can turn his career around. He's only 31 years old, and if we're not getting Cody Bellinger, this is the second best option. Get those Dodgers, you know, former Dodgers, former Cubs as well. Wow. You know, I think Jock Pearson would be a good move for the Jays because we need some power, you know, especially lefty power. Varsho, he hit 20 home runs, but again, his average wasn't that good. I think Jock he can turn the clock around in Toronto, you know. I know Guillermo's ass, but I think last year was like an outlier. He's usually a better hitter than what he was last year. Last year, I think you look at like his career batting average. His career batting average is .237, but I think he's had better years. Batted .250, .248. You know, last year was really good. Batted .240, .274. You know, he's not an average guy. Obviously, he hits power. You know, 186 career homers. I think the Jays should sign him to a 1 or 2 year deal with options. Obviously, that, you know, encourage him to be in Toronto because Toronto, you know, you have to bring You have to overpay him a little bit because of the damn taxes and the conversion rate and all that, and the yeah, and it's a different country and all that. But I think Jock would love it here, man. I think Jock would love it. You know, um, he has an old teammate. Yimi Garcia. I don't know how many other Dodgers we have on the team, but I think Jock would love it here. I think he would do a lot for this team. Add a lot. I think he would be like he would bat like 6'5", 7", that type of role. I don't think it would be top 4, but he would add a lot to this team. He would add more power and a lefty presence that we don't have. So I think this would be a good pickup if we can land him. It's him or Bellinger, but I don't think we'll get Bellinger. He'll be too much money. I don't think the Jays are like spending big this offseason. So we'll move on to the next free agent that I think the Jays should get. I think this is pretty written in the stars. Joey Votto. This is a guy I wouldn't mind as like a DH against righties for backup first baseman role. Because Joey Votto, once he got back from injury, he started raking and then ended the season off 202, but he hit 14 home runs in his limited time. So I think maybe a little power surge is still there. He's going to be 40 years old. I think he wants to come home. I don't know. He hasn't retired yet, He hasn't retired yet. I don't think the Reds want him back. The Jays need a backup first baseman because Brandon Belt's gone. I think he's better than Brandon Belt. He hit 14 home runs in only 65 games. So, come on. Yeah, the year previous wasn't that good because he got hurt. But, he was pretty much healthy the entire year. And they just shut him down at the end. 14 home runs in 65 games is nothing. I don't care about the average. His on base was pretty good. 3 of 14. He's going to get walks and shit. Well, not good. Pretty average. But he's going to bring you walks. I wouldn't mind him. I think Jays fans would overreact if they sign him to a 1-year deal. Because they're like, oh, Horowitz. Well, Horowitz isn't there yet. If they keep Horowitz on the active roster, I wouldn't mind. But if we get Joey Votto, I think it would be a good veteran presence on the bench or like as a DH against righties. So we need some lefty. Like we would have if we had Jock and we had Varsho, Jock, Biggio, we would have more lefties in the lineup. So I think Joey Votto would be an option. If we don't sign him, I wouldn't care. But if we sign him, that would be, it would be nice. Toronto guy coming home, to finish his career here. Obviously he's always going to be a Cincinnati Red, but if we sign him, I think he could, he can pop off and have like a last run, a chance at the World Series. If we add it, if we build a team that can actually fucking hit, because we got the pitching, but the hitting just went to shit. But yeah, I wouldn't mind Joey Votto on the team. Again, hometown kid, Italian boy, on base wizard. He can just get on base and just let the other guys drive him in. I know he's not fast, but yeah, I wouldn't mind him. He's a good piece on the team, man. And if we sign him, why not? All right, for third base is John Candelario. The Blue Jays are looking for third baseman. They want to trade for Suarez for some reason. They're trying to bring back Chapman, which I don't want them to bring back unless it's like a 3-year deal. Jamer Candelario, I wouldn't mind him. You look at his numbers last year, had a career year, 22 home runs. With the Cubs, he didn't do that good, but with the fucking Nationals, he batted .258, 16 homers. Pretty solid numbers, not elite, but solid numbers. Had 22 homers. Switch hitter, so he has that presence, as a switch hitter, which we don't have. The Jays don't have. Who we have? Tyler Heineman coming off, our third string catcher. So he adds a switch hitting element. On Spot Track, he's projected to make 11 point something million. With the Jays, it'll probably be like 12.5 if they get him. If you don't want to call up Martinez, then fucking trade him and sign Candelario. Then, Aroldis Martinez is right there, our top prospect, and one of our top prospects. He's a third baseman. He rakes. If you don't want to call up Martinez, then sign Candelario or Gio Urshela. I wouldn't mind. It's just a fill-in guy. But I want like the top three third base. I wouldn't bring Evan Longoria. I don't care about IKF. I don't care about Moustakas. Josh Donaldson, no. Justin Turner, maybe. I wouldn't mind Justin Turner. And that's really it, man. The rest, I don't give a shit. But Jeimer Candelario is my number one third baseman that I would like the Jays to target. Are we going to get him? I don't know. If we don't get him, I won't be that pissed because, we got Aroldis Martinez, a prospect that we call up. He's going to be, I think he'll have a good career, man. I think the Jays are going to be a younger team. They're going to call up some guys. Maybe they'll sign some veterans like to fill in bench roles or whatever, but I think the Jays will have a younger team. If we don't get Candelario, then we call up Martinez. But Jamie Candelario, 12.5, maybe 3 years with an option. Give these guys options. Why not? Player options. I don't give a shit at this point. Try to get as much talent as you can because this run is not going to last forever, and this is what the Jays have to do. I don't care. Ross has to do whatever he can to secure talent to improve this hitting because it's terrible, man. 1 through 9 has to improve, and if you get Jamie Candelario and Jock, that would be a really good pickups right there. And yeah, Joey Votto is just a throw-in guy, and maybe there's another outfielder. I was going to put Tommy Pham on this, but I remembered what Jock and Tommy Pham did with the fantasy football shit. So I'm going to be looking for another outfielder right now. All right, our last hitter is Travis Janikowski from the Texas Rangers. Just won a ring. He provides defense. So if you're signing a DH like Jock Peterson or Jorge Soler or JD Martinez, whatever, you need to get an actual outfielder. So Travis Janikowski is a good outfielder, number one. Number two, he can play center field and left field. We need a center fielder and a left fielder. So he can play center field or left field. Or Varsho can play center field or left field. So you need guys switch back and forth because, Springer's staying at right field. So that's what's happening there. He stole 19 bags. This team don't steal bases. He has 19 stolen bases. That's a lot for the Blue Jays. 91 career stolen bags. Only hit 1 home run. Who cares? Played 107 games. Bad 263, which is solid. Again, stolen bases. He adds speed to the team. We need speed. The Jays need speed on this fucking team. Again, yeah, we have Varsho. We can steal some bags. That's really it now. And now we're losing Kiermaier in free agency. I don't think Kiermaier's coming back. So we need a guy type like a Kiermaier type guy, but younger, to replace him. And you look at Janikowski, Polish boy. He's what, 32? So he's not that old. He's the lefty bat. I know all these guys are lefty bats, but it's true. Like our core is fucking righties, man. Guerrero, Springer, Bichette, Jansen. Those guys and Kirk, I'll count Kirk, are all righties. So you need to fill in the gap and have a more balanced lineup. That's why I'm going all lefties. And I didn't go Jock Peterson. I didn't go Tommy Pham because there's no way Tommy Pham and Jock Peterson would be on the same team. There's no fucking way because after that slapping incident, there's no fucking way. If there is, it'll be the funniest shit ever. It'll be like Nick Nurse and Joel Embiid. Don't worry, they'll be fighting soon. So let's. I think I have a couple pitchers in mind for the Jays, but I wouldn't mind Travis Janikowski. Let me check how much he was worth on Spot Track real quick. Spot Track. He's worth what? They don't even say 1.2. Yeah, he'll be cheap. I would pick him up. He's a fast guy. He can play the outfield. If you're signing a guy like Jock Soler or JD Martinez, you need a fucking outfielder, or else you're gonna have a bunch of errors and bullshit. So you need to sign 2 fielders, and Travis Janikowski would be a good piece for the Jays. I wouldn't mind him. He would be a good piece. Won a World Series, athletic guy. I think he would be good in the clubhouse. So, yeah, let's move on. All right, next is a starting pitcher, Wade Miley 36 years old. He's a pitcher from the Brewers. The Brewers are in shambles, so he's a lefty too. So the Jays do need another lefty in the rotation. I don't trust Alek Manoah. I'm sorry, Ricky Tiedemann is not ready to be called up yet. I know I would love Ricky T. I think Ricky Tiedemann maybe will get called up middle of the year, whatever, if there's injuries or whatever, or you just want him in the bullpen. He throws fucking gas, man. I love some Ricky Tiedemann, but Wade Miley had a really solid year. What the fuck happened? Why did it go black? Okay, alright. No, my baseball reference went black for a second. Alright, yeah. Wade Miley pitched 120 innings. Again, he's a fifth guy, so I don't know if he got injured or what. 9-4 record, 3.40 ERA. 3.14 ERA. Lefty. He'll be cheap pretty much. Give him a 1-year contract. $7 million. His value is 7.9. Why not? 1-year deal. He's 30. He's gonna be 37. Yeah, he's gonna be old, but fifth guy, I wouldn't mind him, man. He's had a good career as a number 5 guy overall with the Brewers and stuff. Because I can't trust Alek Manoah, and the Jays do need a lefty in the rotation. Not named Kikuchi, and I think he would be a good fit. Pete Walker can probably make him into a strikeout guy, man. Pete Walker can, he's a wizard, man. So he can probably make him even look better at his fucking age. You look at his career. Wade Miley, he's had a really solid career, and he's one of the underrated free agents, probably. Whoever signed him, I hope I don't even think the Jays are going to sign him, but this is an option that the Jays should get, because I just can't trust Alek Manoah, man, with last year. I don't care if he's working out. I don't care about the bullshit. I just can't trust him. I don't trust Alek Manoah. I think Wade Miley would be a good number 5, even 4 guy, because, him and Kikuchi, or he can move Bassett lower so you can have a lefty, every other day. So I wouldn't mind Wade Miley. If the Jays really don't give a shit about Alek Manoah anymore, then you got to sign Wade Miley. He'd be a really good piece to the rotation and make it even better. And, yeah. So, let's move on. Alright, this guy, Nick Martinez, I wouldn't mind him. I think Pete Walker would make him even a better pitcher. 2 years, he pitched 106 innings and then 110 innings. In those 2 years, he had, last year he had 8 saves. This year he only had 1. He was more of a starter. But he could be a bullpen arm or a fifth starter guy. Again, him or Wade Miley, interchangeable. If we sign him, he can be in the bullpen as well. So, Nick Martinez, 3.43 ERA. Not the best, not the worst. But I think Pete Walker can make this guy even better. He's a free agent. I don't know how much he's commanding. How much will he be worth? It doesn't show. Oh, $8 million. No, so $10 million Toronto. So give him a flyer. I don't know, as a starter. He's a lefty too, so he adds that again. Add a lefty in the rotation or bullpen. I wouldn't mind Nick Martinez on the roster. He'd be a really good piece. The only guy I would get rid of in the bullpen is Trevor Richards because he was dog shit. Later in the year for the Jays. So I think Nick Martinez will be a nice piece for the Jays to add to their bullpen because, again, we don't need to add that much. Chad Green, we re-signed him. Eric Swanson, so those are our setup guys. Unfortunately, we're probably going to be losing Jordan Hicks, but oh well. Again, retractable roof. Nick Martinez would be a good long man / fifth starter / every. He's a Swiss Army knife. So, and he has 9 career saves. So, he can do that as well. So, he's a Swiss Army knife in your pitching arsenal. So I wouldn't mind if the Jays pick him up, and Pete Walker will make him, I think, even a better player as well. So, he'll fix his mechanics. He'll probably have a 2 ERA or a low 3s ERA. So, yeah. I'm going to try to think of more people. The last guy is a guy who's probably he is past his prime. 301 career homers. He hasn't retired yet. Carlos Santana, this guy has been a fucking thorn in the Jays' end for a bit. You know, he beat us in 2016 with the Indians. He beat us in 2022 with the fucking Mariners. You know, he just feels like a thorn in our ass, and let's just fucking take him. Why not? Switch hitter, which the Jays don't have. He hit 23 home runs last year, which is fucking pretty solid. 240, 86 RBIs, pretty solid. You know, for an old guy, he batted in the Central, which is not a home run hitting division. Like, you know, not really easy for a 37-year-old. He hit 23 home runs. Okay, imagine that in the AL East. So, I know the pitching's a little, you know, with Cole and Sale when he's healthy, and the Rays and all that bullshit. But I would love him. Actually, I would like him more than Joey Votto. He provides more. If we sign Carlos Santana today, I'll be happy. You know, looking at these numbers, I didn't even know he did this good. 23 home runs. Yeah, 240. Who cares? 318 on base. Switch hitter would be a solid DH. This would be a solid DH option because he's a switch hitter. I think he hits better from the left side than the right side, but I don't really care because, again, he has that dynamic. And the Jays did not have a switch hitter last year. They did not. So, he would be another honorable mention. I'd rather have him than Votto, but Votto would be all right to me as well. And, yeah, I'm going to try to think of one more honorable mention, but Carlos Santana on a one-year deal, he would add so much to this offense, man. You know, he would add some spark. Yeah, he wouldn't have a good average, but he'll hit some big home runs, I guarantee you. And next year, whoever signs him to like a one-year deal, he'll hit some big home runs. And he's a veteran. He's not done. He got some gas in the tank. He is past his prime. He was better. He was a third baseman back then. Now he's a DH/first baseman. So I wouldn't mind him on the team just because of his veteran presence and his switch hitting ability. Again, the Jays need switch hitting. We had 0 switch hitters. I know switch hitting's a dying art, but you know it just helps with the element to put in your lineup. Like, oh, you got a switch hitter? Shit, it just gives opposing managers extra something to think about, and like with pitching changes and stuff. And I'm not saying Carlos Santana is going to be a superstar and impact the team that way. I just think he'll impact the team in little ways if he goes to the Jays. If he goes to any other team, it would be a great addition just to add that switch hitting element and the veteran presence from Carlos Santana because he's a dog. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind Carlos Santana, man. He's a fucking thorn in our ass for a few years as Jays fans, and I wouldn't mind him on the team. I would actually want him more than Joey Votto, looking at the numbers and all that. He had a full season playing in the Central. So, yeah, I was thinking one more option, and then I'm done. All right, last guy on this list is definitely a one-year deal. Is A.J. Pollock, a guy who's underperformed big this year. And I don't know if he can get back to like his ways. But A.J. Pollock is a career 273 hitter, not bad. 145 bombs, left fielder, righty bat, veteran. That again, you need to sign like a DH to like. But like you look at last year with fucking Chicago, bad 245, 14 home runs. Maybe they'll give him the Brandon Belt treatment and give him like a one-year contract, proven deal. Because with the fucking like early years with the Dodgers, he did really good. And then with the Diamondbacks, he had some solid years. But I wouldn't mind him. A righty left fielder. This is like, I'm not signing any center fielders in this video because I believe that Varsho will be the center fielder. There's a reason why we trade for Varsho. Yes, we lost a trade, but his defense is really great, and he's wasted at left field. We're moving him to center field. That was the plan with this trade, you know. Ross Atkins, that was his plan. It fucking failed, but Varsho is a good player, but he's not a good. He needs to improve his hitting. But we're not talking about guys that we have right now. We're talking about guys we can approve. And I think AJ Pollock would be a good 1 year deal. These are honorable mentions. These are like add-ons, guys that whatever. And I mentioned a lot of other players too, but I'm not focusing on them. AJ Pollock last year was terrible with the Mariners and the Giants, and I don't think he will have that much value. I think the Jays can just swoop him up for like $5 million or something. Hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully he passes physicals and stuff. Has a good spring training, and hopefully we can rebound his career and have like hopefully a renaissance season. I don't know if like teams like the A's or whatever would sign him, but I don't know if he has gas in the tank. Like Carlos Santana just been more consistent, but AJ Pollock would be a solid piece to have on this team if he rebounds. This is just fucking banking on him rebounding his career and like turning back to like half the guy he was. Like a 270 something hitter, 14 something home runs. All that stuff. And I wouldn't mind him if you add like a guy like Jock as your DH. You would have him and Jock rotate at left field, and you can add another guy to fill in against lefties as DH. So, there's a lot of options out there. It's not like it's not stacked. I think, again, I'm not going with Cody Bellinger's video because I just don't think we'll get him. I think we're going to go after Jock, in my opinion. I think the Jays will offer him a deal. Obviously, they're talking to him. They're talking to Candelario. They're talking to a lot of guys in the winter meetings. But I think they're gonna go. They're not gonna be big spenders. I think they have like a $60 million budget. I heard. So they're gonna go after like medium guys, which is fine. I don't care. Like I know we're not gonna be spending a lot of money because we have a lot of money already with Springer, and the rotation is worth that money. So I don't give a shit. If we have that if that rotation's just like maybe like a quarter worse than last year, we're still good, man. We just need to get the hitting going. So we'll see what happens there. I'm gonna give you my ending now. All right, in conclusion, the Jays got a lot to work to do this offseason, and I don't know if any of those players I said are gonna be going to the Jays. Like again, the honorable mentions are just honorable mentions, and then the first half of guys are guys that they could sign all together. I know it's really lefty heavy, but you look at the fucking roster right now, it's a lot of righties, so it would balance it out. Again, Ross Atkins has to get his head out of his ass and have a good offseason, or else he's fucking fired. All right, he needs to help fix this offense. Guillermo Martinez, he's not a good hitting coach, but what the fuck changed from 2021 to now? I don't know what the fuck. He was the same hitting coach from 2021. Vladdy's got worse. Bo, he's just injury prone, but he's pretty good. Springer's gotten worse. Kirk got worse after last year. It's just everyone else internally has to get better, and we have to add pieces to help the fucking lineup and balance it. And as for pitching, we got nothing really to worry about pitching-wise. Maybe a couple relievers and again, I just added a couple starting pitchers because I'm not confident in Alek Manoah. Can he turn it around? I think so because he has the talent. He just needs to work out and work on those fucking timing and mechanics and get used to the pitch clock. But, I'll believe it when I see it. When he's fucking pitching in spring training and in the regular season, and if he has a good outing, then I'll believe that he's back. But I know he's working out and stuff, but I gotta see it to believe it, to see if Alek Manoah is back, like, on this rotation. Because if he's fucking playing like 2022, 2021 Alek Manoah, this rotation's gonna be fucking filthy. So, but again, I can't trust Manoah. That's why I put the pitchers out there. That's all I gotta say, guys. Hit the like, subscribe if you're new. What's your thoughts on your teams and the Blue Jays off season? What players you want? What players you want to stay away? That's all I gotta say. Peace. Go Jays. And hopefully the Jays have a good off season. Have a good fucking start lineup. and get us excited for baseball, because after last season's fucking horrific season, one of the worst seasons in baseball, we made the fucking playoffs, and it was one of the worst Blue Jays seasons in my opinion. Okay, uh, in my fucking lifetime, and we made the fucking playoffs. It was just so fucking miserable. The hitting was miserable, man, and we wasted a starting pitching staff that was historically good in Blue Jays history. Um, and we wasted a bullpen, you know. But hopefully next year we add some guys to help out that fucking lineup, and we start hitting again like the 2021 Blue Jays, and we pitch like the 2023 Blue Jays. Then we'll have a fucking complete team, try to go for the division, whatever. But it's all smoke and mirrors. We have to fucking have a good off season, and we have to have a good fucking regular season, and that's far as away. Because fucking December, no one makes moves. I mean, November, no one makes moves until fucking winter meetings is over. So we'll see what happens there. That's all I gotta say. Peace. Go Jays.